Hello again. Welcome back to Asgard and welcome back to Stacia. So today we're going to switch over. We are going to do probably a little bit of Astral Sorcery today, and I'll take you up there and show you some changes that I've made. But the first thing that I want to do is I want to start into something that I have been working on, getting ready for, and that is this little area over here. Now, so far to date, really all we've been doing with power is diesel generation. We touched briefly on solar panels with some solar panel ones there that we made forever ago and never really used that extensively. And we did a little bit with wind power, which has since been taken down, but is going to get set back up. My plan within this series is to be doing diesel power with oil, like we've got going over here. Also wind and solar power. And we are going to touch onto a little bit of solar power stuff today. Not really benefiting from the power probably just yet, but we are going to go ahead and get some infrastructure set up that we will soon be expanding upon. Now over here I have set up a little bit of automation here because I was making a bunch of hardened glass, because now I've got tons of lead. So I started making it through the alloy smelter, just taking the lead dust, quartz dust, and obsidian dust, since I have thousands of lead at this point. So let's go ahead and just grab all this hardened glass. This is basically 4 stacks of lead, 4 stacks of quartz, 4 stacks of obsidian to make 8 stacks of hardened glass. It'll get us a start anyways. And over here, we're going to go ahead and just lay these out, and we're going to make ourselves as many mirrors as we can possibly make, which isn't going to be that many, but it will be a start for us. So there's 42, and actually, let me look in here. One thing to note, I'm gonna mention here in just a second. You're probably wondering why I'm looking through here to find stuff, and I'll explain why that is. Actually, I've got a little bit extra hardened glass. I'm gonna go ahead and use what I got. There we go. So there's 45 mirrors. That's a good start. I did finally just end up removing this crafting table that was over here, this crafting laser system. And I disconnected the power from this entire system because I plug it up. I do plug it up just to run my ores whenever I'm running my processing. But I finally did take apart the crafting station because I have found that it is, unfortunately, kind of useless. It'll work, and then all of a sudden it's got power. You know, this thing, if it's plugged up to the system, it's full on power. So that's not really the concern. And everything was plugged up with, plugged up correctly. Everything should be working, but the crafting table will just stop working, and I can't access anything in it. I can't open it at all. It seems extremely buggy. The whole Logistics Lasers mod. I had a lot of issues with it before, where I would request things, it would have power, and it just would never send them. But now it's gotten to where I can't even open the crafting station randomly. So I just finally just said, I'm okay, I'm tired of this. And so I tossed it. Also, on the note of mods that are a tad bit buggy, over here with our Ars Novea set up for our little critters, this system here is really buggy. You can see right now it says crafting air. That happens periodically if I go out of range of this. Even though at the moment I do have this chunk loaded, this little area. Everything's chunk loaded that they should be coming into contact with, but it'll randomly change to crafting air. And I don't know why that is. Also, my carbuncle got backed up on strawberries because it decided that it was going to craft air. Sometime it got backed up on strawberries. He didn't pick up the juicers, and yeah, it all messed up. So that's not currently running at the moment either. Now the Sylph is running. The Sylph is running perfectly, but that little setup over there, because the witch just randomly decides she wants to craft air instead of fruit juice, it doesn't really work all that great. So it is what it is. But anyways, let's go ahead and place that. Let's get ourselves some solar panel ones. These aren't going to stack because these have power in them. I don't know if we can actually just clear these. No, we can turn them into leadstone energy cells, though. Can those be crafted into anything? I don't think so. No. Now, eventually we will want the ultimate solar panels, because these are 262,000 generation, where this is only 32,000. These are kind of like an upgrade of these. So down the road, we will probably upgrade to ultimate solars, maybe. I mean, you're talking about really expensive, but doable, I think. Let's go ahead. Well, let's go ahead and craft these up, I think. And then we will we'll maybe use up some more of these mirrors. Because I know to make the tier 2s, we're going to need mirrors. And to make the tier 3s, we're going to need more mirrors there. So we will wait just a moment on that. Now over here, I'm going to go ahead and grab... Looks like we got to keep closing this out and open it back up. There we go. We're going to go ahead and get ourselves 3 stacks of vacuum tubes. Way more than what we need, but... we will need these later. I'm going to go ahead and put them into there. And then the rest of these I will just dump for now. And yeah, let's go ahead actually and just craft up. There's 42, 44 solar panel 1s. And then we are going to place these out. Place out our mirrors. And there is solar panel 2s. Solar panel 2s. Okay, and I've got enough now for 5. I will need one more mirror though. Yeah, I got enough for 5 solar panel 3 crafts, which will give me 10 solar panel 3s. So yeah, let's go ahead and just push on to that. And I'll just crush up one of each of these. So there's our obsidian dust, our quartz dust, and our lead dust. There we go. We got our 15 mirrors. And then I'm going to need just a bunch of lapis. Now these are going to be a whole lot easier to do once we actually have something for automation. These will be a whole lot easier. But for now, this will be fine. Before too long, I do want to set up some automation for obsidian though. Because that'll help us out quite a bit. Even though vein mining obsidian actually isn't that bad to do, truth be told. Okay, so let's go ahead. And this will kind of be our stopping point for now, because to make the solar panel 4s, we're going to have to actually start into mechanism, and that's because the basic coils take enriched iron, so we will have to get the metallurgic infuser before we'll be able to push into solar panel 4s. But that's fine. That is okay. Alright, so we got that. Oh, and let me pop back over. And in here, I've got a bunch of energy pipes. So we're going to go ahead and grab those. That's way more than what I need. But that'll give us some to kind of play with for a bit. And then right here, I've got a stack of basic pipe upgrades. And then we're going to take these and we're going to upgrade these into a stack of improved pipe upgrades. And then we're going to take these and we're going to upgrade them into a stack of advanced pipe upgrades. Now the reason I'm doing this is if we take a look at the pipes mod, there's actually 4 different upgrades. There is another one that does the ultimate pipe upgrade, which requires netherite. I was testing around in my test world with pipes to see the energy transfer limits, and they're actually really, really good. Like this is a very good pipe. Energy pipe for us, because there doesn't really seem to be a capacity limit on the energy pipe. So for example, with say immersive engineering, you know, we have a limit to how much these can insert or extract, and then there's like a limit to how much can actually be sent through the entire wire before it burns out, which is like 4 times the limit of the insert or something like that. The energy pipes from the pipes mod have no limit to how much that they can insert. They have no limit on how much that they can carry. Their only limit is extraction. And these upgrades will increase the amount that they can extract. Now the basics, I think without an upgrade, it was like 500 FE per tick, I think, that they could extract. And with like a basic pipe upgrade, I think it was like 1,000 or 2,000 maybe. With the improved pipe, it was, I think, 8,000. And then with the advanced pipe, it actually worked out to be, if I recall exactly, the same amount that the solar panel 8 makes. So 32,768. So with this upgrade, we can freely just kind of, I mean, right now, realistically, it's a huge item waste, like material waste, to go ahead and upgrade these all the way. But I'd rather just go ahead and make a stack of these. That way I can set down solar panels and not worry about these pipes until the time comes that we want to upgrade to the ultimate solar panel. Because this one does produce 262,000, and when we upgrade to that, it's going to be like super late game, so it doesn't really matter for a very long time. I think, though, no, actually, I mean, really, once we can make solar panel 8s, we can make ultimates. It's just going to be a lot of materials to do that, but I think that takes dragon eggs, and that's not that bad, actually. Gaia Spirit Ingots and Dragon's Breath. Actually, these actually aren't that bad, truth be told. It's like get mechanism and go to the end, and that's like it. So, and then just a lot of materials. So, no, it's actually not that bad, but that way we can just kind of upgrade to this point, and then once we get ready to push on to the ultimates, we can do that, you know. And I think that will be good. I've got my pipe wrench at the ready. So what we're going to do, let's pop out over to here real quick. And this is where, right here, under the ocean, this is where we are going to be doing our solar power. Because my idea is we're going to have a big solar bay out here. And then we're going to have kind of an offshore power storage area. And then that goes over onto the shore here. And then we're going to have some big wind turbines that we're going to make with Create, just decorative wind turbines. I actually built, between episodes, I actually built a big windmill. That I was like, oh, I think I'm going to use this. But then when I stuck the immersive engineering windmill on it, it felt too dinky. You know, it's way too small. I wish immersive engineering windmills were way bigger than they are. The size is just not practical for anything. I did build one out and I didn't like it, but we're going to do some decorative ones with Create, I think. Sometimes that can be annoying, by the way, just for the record. Sometimes, usually not, but sometimes it can be. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go ahead and just run out a stack of wire. Now, honestly, I'm going to need a literal ton of solar panels just for these 4 pods, and my plan is to have a lot of pods. That's not going to be something that we realistically reach until later in the pack, once we have basically the whole process of making solar panels automated, and we have resource automation and things like that. But I figure, well, we can go ahead and get a start on it and kind of just mention how we're going to be doing power a little bit within the series. But we'll just kind of build these inward. Yeah, so a stack of pipes, it's going to almost require 2 stacks of pipes, I think, to actually build this area out. So these are going to be like an impressive amount of power by the time that they're done, I think. Even just these first 4 pods, and once we get them up to like ultimate solar panels, it's going to be crazy. Alright, so now what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead. I can't actually. I was hoping that I could have those come up. If I was to place down, like, say, solar panel 2 on here, and I set this to extract, and then I pulled this off. Yeah, I'm going to have to add these as I go. That's unfortunate, but that's okay. We'll go ahead and toss these in just because we can. And I guess something else I want to try is if I was to put an upgrade into this, like we right click it, we place an upgrade, right? And then we pull this off, and then we put it back on. Oh no, it pops the upgrade off. Okay. This is going to make it really obnoxious to upgrade these. Okay, well, for right now, we'll go ahead and just place these out. And you'll notice that if they're the same type, they will kind of link together. But I did kind of want to mention kind of where we're going with power, and at least start into this today. At least get this part of it set up. So right now, I mean, we would be producing, I think these are 32 each, right? Yeah, so I mean, we'd be producing, you know, what, about 300 RF per tick. Not that great, but as this expands and as we push onto the higher tiers, we'll start producing actually a lot of power from this. All right, so let's pop back over, and like I said, I'll keep kind of expanding on those. I need to just start running a lot of hardened glass, honestly. Start running a lot of that, but we do have the advanced pipe upgrades out of the way. A stack of them anyways, and then I'll have to run. Actually, since the upgrades work that way, let me go ahead And let me just grab the rest of these energy pipes. We'll run these out so we can at least kind of get a platform together. But these kind of like offshore kind of solar systems are used. I've seen pictures of them. I think there's one in the Netherlands kind of like this. And I love it. You know, it makes total sense, like being out here in the ocean where there's not any, you know, really any shade. It's just completely open. No trees and stuff like that around. It makes total sense that it would be a great place to generate solar-based energy. And I just love the idea of having our solar system out here kind of offshore like this. Okay, so there we go. And we've got to build a little bit more, but that's fine. Oh, and it kind of looks a bit different on the map now. And now I just need tons of solar panel 3s to fill these out. But you can see these are building up on power. And we have 237,000 RF or FE in each of these. And then later on down the road, we can get into some of these as well. So I just wanted to get some solar panels down and just kind of mention what that out there is for and where we're going to be moving with our power as we begin to move forward within the pack. Okay, now the next thing that I want to do, and it's perfect because it is night. Hopefully I can get my my tool. Here we go. Let's pop up to the astral area. And right here I've got a little a setup here. And this is to make our starlight infuser. We're going to go ahead and craft this. And I did set up one thing over here, which we're going to take a quick look at in just a moment. There we go. There is our starlight infuser. Okay, and that's going to complete a quest for us. And this has a multi-block, of course. This right here. And we're going to go ahead and just stick it right in the middle. And that's going to make it be formed. Now, it does require the starlight, of course, on all sides. And it will occasionally consume that starlight. But then we can take, like, Aquamarine. And we can toss that in. And let me see. The quest. Okay, there's not one for the infused Aquamarine, or the resonating Aquamarine or whatever. I can't think of what it's called off the top of my head for some reason. I'm drawing a blank here. But we can craft it. There we go. Our resonating gem. And I don't see any flowing here, so I'm going to go ahead and drop in another one. Now, if it ever won't craft, that means there's starlight missing somewhere. Easy way to tell that. Looks like it's actually not consuming all that often. There we go. And we're going to get one more of these for right now. Because today I'd like to go ahead and push on for the last tier. Oh, it finally consumed a little bit of liquid starlight. Now there used to be, like in 1.12, seems like it like almost always consumed liquid starlight. But on here it's being really, really kind to us. Now over here I do have a light well set up that's set to pump out with these fluid pipes. And one thing I am going to do for sure is drop one of these advanced pipe upgrades into this, just to increase the speed at which it can extract. Because what I was doing is dropping an Aquamarine and I was using time in a bottle, which does speed it up. It does speed up the speed at which it breaks. I know some people say it doesn't. It does, because it will break faster, but it produces extremely fast. So if we take a look here, you can see this is going to be shooting up. We could bump it up again. There's 64 times. It's still not backing up in the light well, so that's good. And it'll probably break here pretty quick. Usually it doesn't last very long, and if we bump it up again, 128 times, and you can see this is skyrocketing, but the fluid pipe is able to keep up with it right now. And it'll, yeah, see, it already broke. It doesn't last very long whenever you do it that way, but you can see we get a ton of liquid starlight speeding it up. So I think it does produce more liquid starlight whenever it's sped up than if it wasn't in the long run, but it does break pretty fast. Because I had one of these Aquamarine that wasn't sped up last like nearly an entire Minecraft day. So, and now the next thing we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and get into just not really automating or setting up for it proper, but we are going to toss a rock crystal and some stardust into there, get that going, because we need to start growing some celestial crystals. Start moving away from rock crystal. Now the main thing we're after today is, if we take a look up here, the iridescent altar to make this, we are going to need a celestial crystal or an attuned celestial crystal. And that's the main thing that we want right this second. To actually push further into progression, we are going to need an iridescent altar because it's going to be used for a lot of our crafting. Now, the rest of this stuff we'll get into, but not just yet. The reason being, all the rest of the stuff, as far as the quests go, are useful, but not anything that I have plans for right this second. Tree Beacon's great, but so are Sylphs. Stellar Refraction Table is great in most packs, but it's kind of lackluster in this pack because base Enchanting Table can do way better than the Stellar Refraction Table within this pack. We'll get into the Observatory once we start pushing into further constellations, but the big thing right now is just getting the iridescent altar. So anyways, we just have to let this thing grow. Now, if we have it on Star Metal, it works better. There's a few things like that, but in more recent versions of Astral, you do have to have this. The Star Metal gets turned back into Iron Ore, and you have to keep changing it, and we're not really set up for that, but we should, I think, be able to speed this up. All right, and make it skyrocket in growth. Look at it. Boom. And it should grow pretty fast. And once it starts sparkling, we can just take them. We can break this off. And you can see that we are going to get ourselves some Stardust and a Celestial Crystal. And now we can actually lay this out. Now, I'm not going to be able to make it right now because, of course, daytime's coming in. So we're going to have to wait to do that. But we have everything in place to actually craft this. And we got back 2 Stardust, which is kind of cool. Now, the next thing I want to do, now that we've got that set up and ready to go for the next night, is let's pop down, trying to just wrap up a lot of our Astral Sorcery work today, and get us in a good place to kind of move away from Astral Sorcery until we kind of come back around full circle and touch on a lot of this other stuff. Just kind of wanting to get the bulk progression push out of the way today with this. But now the next thing I want to do, let me pop down, let me get a bucket of lava for starters. And then let me get, I guess let me get just some glass. Let's put it right over here, I think. Yeah, let me grab a little bit of this. Let's come out and right here, we're going to put in a drawer. Right here, and this is just a 1x2 drawer. And we're going to put on top, let me actually test something. I don't know if this will work. Because my original plan was to use a gate, but I think the absorption hopper might work. Actually, yes, this will work out perfectly with just the absorption hopper. And actually, let's come out to the ocean real quick. And because we're going to see, like I said, I'm not sure if we will get Aquamarine Shell in this pack from running the Liquid Starlight system, but if we do, that's my hope, because that's going to mean that we'll have like pretty much infinite Liquid Starlight at that point, and then we'll be able to automate this a bit better and just constantly have Aquamarine running and have infinite Aquamarine and stuff. But let's go ahead and drop in some Aquamarine Shell. Let's drop in some sand. What's the limit on stack limit of 32? Okay. And I don't have my key on me, but that's fine. And on top of this, we're just going to put on the absorption hopper right there. And then we're going to come up. Let's go put glass just kind of around this. Like so. And then let's have the glass come out right here. And we're going to say the downside is going to be items on this. And let's see, what's the area that's, yeah, that's plenty big, honestly. All right, so what we're going to do, we're going to have the lava right over here. Yeah, and that'll flow right there. That'll be fine. Okay. And actually, I guess probably best if I bring this down one more. And then we can take our bucket of lava right here, and we can just place, well, let me bring this glass up just a little bit more here. We can go ahead and take our lava and just go ahead and dump that in. That's going to start flowing. It's going to flow down. Well, actually, probably best I wait just a minute on that. And then let's go ahead right here. We're going to do that. We're going to do that. Bring this around. Bring that up like so. And I may change out some of these blocks, not just have it glass, but I want you guys to be able to see it run for a minute here. Yeah, that should be good. Okay, we'll just have to test it and see. Now, sometimes this thing will back up. If it does in this version, you know, I haven't made one in this version. I made them in 1.12 a lot. If it does, you know, end up backing up or stopping up, we can just break this block, or we can just add a breaker here that will break the block in front of it, and it won't do anything unless there's a block there kind of holding up this entire system. Usually happens on like chunk unload and stuff. But if that does happen, then we'll add a breaker and it'll fix it. You know, it's really, really easy to do that. But let's go ahead. Let's grab ourselves a bucket of liquid starlight. And what we're going to do, we're going to toss that liquid starlight in there. It's going to float down like that. And then we are going to put our lava in. And as soon as it hits that, oh, it's going to stop it up. Okay. All right. We will fix that. Yeah, it does it. It does it there too. Okay. Yeah, it's still getting it. Okay. What we're going to do then the lava. There we go. That should speed it up. That's still doing it. Wow. Okay. There we go. It still does it. Man. It's like it goes back towards the source. Even though liquid starlight flows way faster than lava does. By like a long shot. Well, real quick. I'm being attacked. But really, really quick. Let's go ahead. This is ready to go. So I'm going to go ahead and just activate this. Ooh, we got some really fancy particles. Let me move this kind of out of the way. Because it's kind of in a really odd spot now. We have that. And that's going to transform our celestial altar into the max tier altar. Which is always quite exciting. I'm going to move this. I don't know. Yay! Can you take me higher, achievement? Go ahead and move that. And there we go. We now have our iridescent altar. And if we pull this up. There we go. Quest completed. There's something in here. I think maybe it doesn't like. That in the corner. Oh, you know what? This all needs to be shifted down. I went too high with it. Okay. There we go. Now it's working. So that's all set up. And we'll get more into using that at some point. I don't know if it'll be this episode because I really don't think I need it this episode, but we'll see. So let me pop back up. And back up to this little challenge. What's proving to be a challenge. What if, let's see, how far does lava in the overworld move? Is it 4 blocks? I think. So what if we come out? So that's as far as the lava can come out. So what if I did that and I had the liquid starlight like here? Aha! We have success. We have success. So yeah, the lava is just the lava. I don't know if vanilla Minecraft, if they changed the speed of lava in the overworld. I'm actually not sure about that. I think probably put a breaker here because there might come a point where the liquid starlight flows over one and then turns this block into sand. And if that does happen, if we have a breaker here, I mean, it seems like it's running perfectly fine with no issues right now. But maybe to be on the safe side, we might have lava there because that could be a good idea for us. And then maybe have a breaker here, you know, if we don't want to have to check it. But yeah, I mean, you could say this is building up on sand. Now, I am going to have to really quickly get a void upgrade because we're going to quickly need it. Thank you for the slow fall when I don't need it. Appreciate that. We're going to go ahead and drop that in, and so that's going to start voiding any excess items. Now, this is actually steadily backing up. Oh. Yeah, we just got Aquamarine Shell. So it is giving us Aquamarine Shell. And that's a really good sign. I don't know if this is backing up or if it's just like teetering at like a stack for some reason. I don't know. Not quite sure right now if it's if it overflowing is going to be an issue or not. So I'll have to keep an eye on that. If it does start to act up, I may have to deal with that, which is good. That means we're pretty much going to have infinite sand and infinite aquamarine. It generally isn't super fast about aquamarine. As you can see, I mean, we've only gotten one this whole time. We've made 14 stacks of sand. But nonetheless, after this runs for a little bit, with it being on a server, we will get a bit of aquamarine built up. Yeah, there it is. It's back to teetering at a stack. It seems to like the stack because it builds up to a stack really, really fast, but then it never really goes above that. It's kind of weird, but that's okay. I'm not worried about it. But yeah, and that means with that, I mean, we're pretty much at a point, I think, with Astral Sorcery that I'm pretty happy with. We will move into containment chalices before too long, probably, if that's what I decide to do for my obsidian. But yeah, so with that, I think we're going to wrap up this episode here. This is kind of a winding down some Astral Sorcery stuff. We will come back to it for a few little odds and ends and do some containment chalice stuff. And then kind of wrap up the remainder of these quests, get a little bit into the observatory, and probably do a couple of rituals and stuff. But beyond that, I mean, we've pushed the progression and got the key things, which for me, the sand generator, always a key thing. We got some liquid starlight, not fully automated just yet, but very, very reasonable. I can pump out a lot of this stuff for personal use, and we got our starlight infuser. And so next episode, we are going to then turn our attention, I think, to Botania, which is our last kind of progression push that we have to do before we can start into Mechanism. We also have to do just a little bit of Create, but I've got some plans for that. So anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed the episode. If you did, as always, be sure and hit that like button and go ahead and subscribe if you're not already to stay updated with when new videos come out. And I hope to see you guys next time. So until then, as always, do take care, stay safe. I'll see you guys then.